Ever really stop and think about how all your gadgets, your phone, your smart speaker, your laptop, how they all actually work together? Well, today we're going to dive into this really fascinating idea called node theory. It basically argues we should stop looking at our tech as just a bunch of individual tools and start seeing it as one massive interconnected system. Let's get into it. All right, so let's start with a big question. When you think about technology, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it just a toolbox, right? An app for this, a device for that? Or could it be something way bigger? This is the core idea we're going to dig into today. To really get our heads around this, the source material suggests we need what it calls a new art of seeing. And this isn't about looking at technology, but looking through it. It's about shifting our focus from all the little individual parts to see the entire interconnected whole. And at the very heart of this new perspective is this idea seeing engineering as a whole. Now, this doesn't mean you need to be an engineer or understand every single circuit. No. It's about taking a step back and just appreciating the grand design. Seeing the entire forest instead of getting lost among all the individual trees. Okay, so this is where it really clicks. On one hand, you've got the old view, technology as this messy toolbox full of separate gadgets. But on the other, the new view, the whole point of node theory, is seeing it as a single, elegant, interconnected system. Think about it. It's the difference between a pile of car parts and a high-performance engine. One is just a collection of stuff, but the other is a dynamic, integrated whole. So if technology is one big system, then what's it actually made of? What are its building blocks? Well, now we get to the really cool part. The 4 fundamental pillars that make up the foundation of pretty much every piece of modern tech out there. And here's the thing, this is universal. We're talking about everything from a self-driving car to your smartphone, or even the entire cloud. They are all built on these exact same 4 foundational pillars. If you can understand these, you've basically unlocked this new way of seeing everything. And here they are, the 4 pillars. First up, you've got electronic hardware. This is the physical stuff, the body of the system, the chips, sensors, and screens that you can actually hold and touch. Second is the network infrastructure. Think of this as the nervous system. It's the Wi-Fi, the 5G, the cables that carry all the information and connect all the different parts together. Third, we have software logic. This is like the conscious brain. It's the operating systems and apps that lay out all the rules and instructions for how things should work. And finally, the 4th pillar. Artificial intelligence. This is the adaptive intelligence, the part that allows the whole system to learn, to evolve, and even make its own decisions. It's these 4 working together that create every piece of smart technology we use. Okay, that's the theory, which is great, but let's bring it down to earth. Let's apply this 4-pillar framework to a device that's probably sitting in your home right now, just so we can see how these concepts actually work in practice. So yeah, let's take a look at a simple smart speaker. It's the perfect example, really, because on the surface, it's just a speaker, right? But underneath, it's this beautiful symphony of all 4 pillars working in perfect harmony. Let's break it down real quick. The hardware, that's the physical microphone, the speaker itself, the processor inside. The network, that's its Wi-Fi connection, its link to the internet. The software, that's the local operating system that manages all the basic functions. But here's the kicker, the really crucial part, the AI. The real brain, it isn't even inside the speaker. It lives in the cloud. That's where your question is actually understood and answered. Without any one of these 4 pillars, the body, the connection, the local rules, or the cloud brain, that smart speaker is just a useless plastic cylinder. So, what's the big takeaway here? Why is it so important to see technology through this 4-pillar lens? Well, because this framework isn't just a neat way to understand the tech we have today, it's literally a roadmap for the innovations of tomorrow. Think about it. The next huge leap in technology probably isn't going to come from just a faster chip or a better network. It's going to come from new and creative ways of combining these 4 pillars. This dance between hardware, network, software, and AI, that's what creates what the source calls the intelligent mechanisms that will define our future. You're basically looking at the blueprint for innovation right here. And that brings us to one final, really powerful question. Once you start to see the world through this lens, not as a bunch of separate gadgets, but as one integrated system built on these 4 pillars, you start to see the possibilities everywhere. So if this is the blueprint, what are we going to build next?